Look around. Everything you own, everything you save, is measured in dollars. But what if the very foundation of that dollar is being deliberately undermined? The U.S. government owes $37 trillion. It is the largest debt in history, and they are not planning to pay it back. The plan isn't default, it isn't austerity. It is a strategic, calculated, silent theft of your purchasing power. It is called devaluation, and the mechanism is the radical revaluation of two assets, Bitcoin and gold. You are witnessing the most sophisticated debt elimination strategy ever conceived. The U.S. is quietly building a parallel financial system. They are accumulating strategic reserves in Bitcoin and gold, and they are preparing to use a historic playbook to wipe out their debt by collapsing the value of your dollar. This is legal theft, and it is happening now. To understand the future, we must look to the past. The year is 1933. America is drowning in debt. The economy is collapsing. Debt to GDP is around 40%. President Franklin D. Roosevelt knew they couldn't pay it. The solution? Executive Order 6102. This order made owning gold illegal for U.S. citizens. Americans were forced to turn in their gold to the government at the official price, $20.67 per ounce, a price held since 1879. They complied. The gold was collected. And then the move. Once the gold was collected, FDR revalued it overnight to $35 an ounce, a 69% increase. The government's gold reserves instantly ballooned, creating $2.8 billion out of thin air. The debt burden fell dramatically, but who paid the price? Today, the situation is far worse. U.S. debt is $37 trillion, standing at 132% of our GDP. The annual interest payment alone is $1.2 trillion, more than the defense budget, and it's climbing. The government cannot tax its way out. It cannot cut spending enough, and it certainly cannot grow its way out. There is only one lever left to pull when debt becomes truly unpayable: devaluation. And they have chosen their assets. The new strategic assets are the oldest store of value, gold, and the newest, Bitcoin. The plan begins with quiet accumulation, setting the stage for the biggest balance sheet maneuver in modern history. January 23rd, 2025. This is the hypothetical date of the executive order establishing a strategic Bitcoin reserve. The government's target? To acquire at least 1 million Bitcoin over the next few years. They aren't buying on the open market. They are quietly seizing from investigations, accepting fines, and potentially mining it themselves. Phase 2. The revaluation. In 2027, the government announces the strategic reserve is operational. They then declare, for balance sheet purposes, that their 1 million Bitcoin are now worth $1 million per coin. Acquired for $120 billion, the asset is suddenly worth $1 trillion. $880 billion created out of thin air. The gold playbook is dusted off. The U.S. officially holds 8,133 tons of gold, booked on the government ledger at the statutory price of just $42.22 per ounce. The move? Revalue their 261 million ounces to $20,000 an ounce for strategic reserves. The combined maneuver: $1 trillion from Bitcoin, $5.2 trillion from gold, $6.2 trillion in new, instant balance sheet value to technically offset the unpayable debt the market will follow. $1 million Bitcoin and $20,000 gold set the new floor. This is not free money. The cost is paid by you, the dollar holder. When Bitcoin goes from $100,000 to $1 million, the dollar has lost 90% of its value relative to Bitcoin gold from $2,800 to $20,000, 85% loss. The winners are clear: the U.S. government, early Bitcoin holders, early gold holders, and the wealthy who hold hard assets. The losers: the middle class whose life savings are evaporated, bondholders, pension funds, and anyone who relies on a fixed dollar income. The timeline is 2025, accumulation; 2026, crisis; 2027, the revaluation. If this playbook unfolds, your window to position yourself is now. This is a debt reset, a devaluation event. Research the historical precedent, understand the mechanism, and decide how you will protect your purchasing power. End with text: the $37 trillion endgame. Research Executive Order 6102.